I really like to say the things as they are, and I really like to say the truth, and I feel that I need to tell the truth most of the times, not every time, maybe.
Maybe with a little bit of tact here and there.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's what I do.
Hi there, welcome to the Last on the Brakes MotoGP podcast with myself, Matt Dunn, and alongside me, as ever, Fran Wild. This is the place that you come for all the in-depth chats with members of the paddock, from riders, team managers, and whoever else may like to actually join us for half an hour or so, week in, week out. We're here in the beautiful Le Mans circuit. It's just finished absolutely pouring, and our guest today did put in a huge effort to get here.
Yes.
He actually, in fact, almost drowned.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little bit blind now with my sensitive eyes, with a beautiful window and view of the paddock behind our camera, but before it was pretty much like an Amazonian rainstorm.
Yeah.
So
very dark, wasn't it? Yeah.
Lovely, classic
Gloomy.
northern France, but we love it. So yeah, I'm impressed with that corporate sheen on the intro. We're going more and more pro. So who have we got joining us then this week?
As you can tell from the title, the thumbnail and everything else, Franco Morbidelli, fresh off the back of that podium in Jerez. Gotta say, it's been a bit of a whirlwind week for him. It doesn't seem like much downtime for a podium finisher, right?
But like we said as well, I think before we started recording, this season's a little bit weird to get back into the rhythm of like week on, week off, compared to last year when it was like, okay, 2 weekends full gas and chill, and 2 weekends full gas and chill.
3 weekends full gas, yeah.
Okay.
No, it's interesting, isn't it? So I wonder whether, Franco definitely, it didn't indicate that he had too much relaxation going on. Frankie does not say relax after that podium in Jerez.
The greatest hashtag, the greatest championship winning hashtag of all time.
Shout out to Ian Wheeler for that one.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's Franco Morbidelli, and some of the big topics then today, we thought he's always an interesting character, amazing stuff on track, some great quotes off track, but also great perspective, really interesting guy, the way he deals with like ups, downs, glory, disaster, disappointment, and of course as well, underdog versus sort of
being the favourite, not the
overdog. Again, yes.
You'll hear about that
one
later
day. I'll learn full English.
It's been a long week, isn't it? So
it has.
It's fine.
So yeah, I think it's a really interesting chat, looking through that kind of stuff. A bit more of the psychology side. Nothing too in depth in therapy, but sort of, do riders need to be selfish?
How selfish do they need to be?
If you can, how selfish do you need to be? And then, is it possible to separate yourself from like the person you are on track once the lights have gone out and you've made it to the flag? I think it's things that certainly interest me a lot, because I love all aspects of racing, but especially in this sport, especially compared to other forms of motorsport, the human being in the centre of the action makes so much difference. So that is something that really does interest me a lot. Yeah. And he's a good chat for that, I think.
And as ever, Franco, clear, concise, and very calm about it all.
It's nice.
I think also, like, you might want to, the listeners at home, give this one maybe 2 listens, because I think if you read between the lines of current news stories and things like that, the things that he doesn't say are quite interesting as well.
Also very good.
Yes.
Corporate way to give a bit of a tip on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, right then.
Let's I would say stick around for the end of the show, as well as also question of the week this week. What did we decide it was going to be on? How well do you perform
under pressure? Yeah. Do you like that? Do you need that pressure to perform? Do you like performing under pressure, or do you prefer being that underdog and feeling like you've got to really kind of bring the best out of yourself in that way?
That was my favourite topic with Frankie.
Does
he see himself as an underdog? Does he prefer it? Stay tuned to find out. At the end, haven't actually had time to go through all the YouTube comments from the Elaish podcast. We've both had quite a busy week, haven't we? But we will get round to them. Did see someone asking they'd like to know a little bit more about us, so maybe we'll get into that at another point, which was very nice.
And then you can tune in for the 55-minute outro to this episode.
Yeah,
we talk about
our life story.
But yeah, so enjoy the episode.
We haven't drowned Franco Morbidelli, even though he took a very long walk to get here. So thanks for joining us. As anyone who's watching this can see, it's absolutely been pouring outside.
Yeah.
Franco, fresh off the back of another podium. How has your week been? Been all right? Been a bit busy?
Yeah, my week has been very busy with the trainings and with all the duties, but definitely with a sweet taste, because every time you make podium, then the week after
It's quite nice.
feels always a bit different and has a better taste.
I was actually going to ask about the better taste, because
I was hoping you were going to use that as a
it's
segue.
interesting you say that, because we noticed something about, since you've been getting podiums, you seem to enjoy actually making use of the Prosecco and having a drink of it rather than just spraying
Like
it everywhere.
you and Jack,
you know?
like actually enjoy that part of
Yeah.
it. It seems normally it's like, oh yeah, thank you, put it on the floor. But you guys are like, yep,
yeah, and,
earned this.
yeah, exactly. And so is that something that which had just come around since you've been in MotoGP, or did you do that in Moto2 as well?
Well, I was younger in Moto2, and I did enjoy drinking, but now I'm a little bit older and I can appreciate even more the Prosecco. So I don't like to waste it too much when I'm on the podium, and I prefer to drink it me and also together with my team after.
Nice, eh?
That's good. It's a nice big bottle as well.
Yeah, it's a big bottle,
go
so
around.
there's enough to spray some and then
And then drink them.
after.
The other thing, before we get into the deep emotional questions of the day, no, it's nothing too bad. But you're English. So we interviewed Luca at the start of the year for Qatar, and it was obviously his first race.
Yeah, so that.
He said that he's following you a lot in his English and trying to improve it. Said Valentino's maybe not the best teacher for that side of the academy life. But why do you speak such good English? Because you always have done, and it's been something you've had all throughout your time in the paddock. Where does it come from?
Yeah, I think it's firstly because I'm used to foreign languages, because my mother being Brazilian, so I learned a foreign language quite soon in my life. So I think that my brain opened up on that side a little bit. And
Once
then,
you start to speak one, it's like you almost understand how to speak a different language.
Exactly.
And it's like...
Yeah. So after that, my mother sent me to an English school as well. After
Oh, really?
the regular
cool.
school, I used to go to another school.
So you did double school.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Extracurricular stuff.
Yes. And after that, when I was a bit older, I enjoyed a lot watching MTV. In Italy we had MTV,
Oh, yeah.
which was a music
We are the same in the UK.
channel, but where you had also programs like, I don't know, the VMAs, you know.
Yeah. And is it subtitled then? Or
It was
not dubbed?
English. It was full
Okay.
English with Italian subtitles.
That's
So
the
This
best way,
seems to
yeah.
make a big difference.
Yeah,
like
I-
in Scandinavia, a lot of it is like subtitled or nothing, and it helps so much when it's not dubbed.
yeah, exactly.
Someone
Right.
tweeted
But
me
that's
after
cool.
we did the Oliveira podcast, because you mentioned the same with him. They said it's the same in Portugal as well. They have a lot of like English programs with Portuguese
Yeah.
subtitles. So
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that's
English
cool.
seems to be the language, no,
Yeah.
in the world. So
Yeah.
it's quite useful, and it's also nice to have the chance to speak it as close to your original language as possible, because in this way you can express yourself in the best way.
I got to say that on that note, then the expressing yourself, and noticed over since you got your first sort of podium in MotoGP, then the victories, you've almost come a lot more out of your shell and more confident with your English. Some of the phrases you come out, what was it, dynamite for breakfast in Misano?
I'm to blame for that, aren't I? I was like, what did you have for breakfast?
Yeah,
It's
and you're like dynamite, and then what was it? You peppered, you sprinkled a bit of pepper on Pecco in the final lap.
we love it.
I feel, but I just felt maybe before you perhaps weren't as confident in your own ability in English. Do you reckon?
No, I've always been so confident in my English abilities. Yes, maybe I never been so confident with myself generally, but I've been quite confident with my English.
You feel like you're really settled in now in MotoGP, and you're like expecting to be at the front. Obviously, you came from a bit of a different route as well, like Stock 600, Moto2, kind of a bit of a dark horse at the time. Now, do you feel like now, like, yeah, I belong here. I'm meant to be fighting for the podium. Like, this is where I've been aiming for.
Yeah, definitely. There is not too much trust in the riders that come from the superbikes or come from different worlds, compared to the usual.
The classic usual, like CV, Moto3, Moto2,
yeah, exactly, the usual path. So I think that righteously people are a bit skeptical about those riders because they don't have they actually didn't race at the level that there is in Moto3, that there is in CV. So it's quite understandable that there is not so much trust. But what I did in my career and what I try to do and what I'm doing right now is try to gain the trust that I think I deserve, and I just try to do that with hard work and with results.
I'd say from my perspective, sitting here as a mere humble podcaster fan, I'd say you've got that trust. Do you not think you've got it then? Yet?
I don't think I fully got it yet, but I'm working on that.
Can I ask
and
why
it's
is
going
that?
quite well as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But why is that? Why don't you think?
Because I think that if I got the trust that I deserve, I'd be riding a factory bike right now.
Got you.
Okay, well that was something else we were going to
Maybe
talk
I
about.
can. Maybe I might sound a bit. I don't know. Too loud, or I don't know.
No,
but
No,
Not
I
at all.
think this is an understandable thing.
I mean,
But
why
that's
else would a
my
rider
thought.
be here?
Sorry?
Why else would a rider be here if that's not what they wanted, right?
Yeah.
It's perfectly acceptable to say.
Exactly. But yeah, okay, well that's pretty interesting. That's something else we were going to ask you about. You seem to be like more outspoken, and these things often get blown out of proportion a little bit in the media. Like a quote where you're like, yeah, I think I should have a factory bike, said fairly calmly, will be like clickbait headline.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you're like, okay, yeah, no, I did not say that I am extremely unhappy with everything I do have. But do you think like you feel a little bit more relaxed now in yourself to say those kind of things, knowing the trust you have in yourself, the results you've shown?
Yes. I really like to say the things as they are, and I really like to say the truth. And I feel that I need to tell the truth most of the times. Not every time, maybe.
Maybe with a little bit of tact here and there.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's what I do.
How do you walk that line in this sort of very corporate world we have here in MotoGP? Sometimes the things that you say, maybe one of the bosses in a team or the manufacturer goes like, whoa, how do you walk that balance of saying how you really feel in the media, getting your message across without upsetting the wrong people?
Yeah, I try to bring respect to everyone and everyone I work with. I try to give the respect that they deserve. And when I say a negative thing, or when I say I think that the people that I work with might not like, I try to say it in the best way possible, and I try to also, because I feel it, I try just to bring it up, but not complaining about it. I just try
like
to
constructively.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
I just
yeah,
try to bring up the thing or the problem without yakking too much about it.
That's cool. The other thing you seem to have is really good perspective. Like when people
Thank you.
ask you things and they're obviously trying to get you to say a certain quote, and just kind of the way it is here sometimes, like we said, with like corporate versus clickbait, there's so many different interests. But you seem to, when the lights go out, you are brutal overtaker, amazing racer, Franco Morbidelli, trying to get to the flag first. Once you've got to the flag, you then seem to be Franco Morbidelli, normal person who's not really interested in a lot of the different kind of circus elements. Do you think it's a bit of a myth that racers have to be like this type of person all the time? Do you think it's possible when you line up on the grid, you flip that switch, you do the race, and then when you're off the bike again, it's not the same?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean, I find what we do very unique, and what we do requires a really also unique state of mind, and I cannot maintain that state of mind 24/7.
Yeah.
Can anyone?
It's like
do you think?
walking around the supermarket like,
I don't know. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, I try to have that state of mind when I'm in the pit box
Okay.
for
'Cause it
start.
does always interest me, because you see quite a few journalists sometimes talking about like racers have to be selfish people. But
I'm
I think
selfish.
I think it's a different
little bit
balance
selfish.
too, no? Because like if you're asking someone else to compromise, it's like in any kind of situation, you can only do what you do here on these days at these times with these people. Like you don't have a choice if you do it or you don't do it. Whereas other people may have that flexibility. Do you think it is selfishness, or do you think it's the compromise naturally that comes with being so driven to achieve something?
No, I didn't get you. You need to come again.
Do you think it is like selfishness as a person that helps kind of you get where you are? Or do you think it's a natural compromise sometimes with people around you where they're not having to get to Le Mans on Thursday to sit down and talk to us and do this and do that?
Well,
You say you think you're a little bit selfish.
yeah, selfishness. I think you need to have a little bit of selfishness if you're doing an individual sport. I think you have to have that not so noble characteristic. But it's what it is what brings you ahead, especially
that's
on track.
interesting.
Especially on track. Then outside from the track, you can be a little bit less
Because
selfish.
it always does interest me. Sorry, I keep
right.
asking questions. People like, two big examples I can think of in like more recent motorsport, not MotoGP, like the Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher. On track, it's like absolutely pure evil brilliance. And then there's so much charity work and other stuff away from the track.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more just like a career part of you that has to be?
Yeah. I think that you have to be like this when you're here. Then outside from here, you can be however you want and however you are. Of course, being unselfish is much better than being selfish. So
Sometimes much harder too.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast on the way down here, actually, long drive from Paris. We all know it, and it was actually with a rapper called Professor Green. I don't know if you heard of him before, but he was talking.
It's like
he's
the
quite big
least
in the UK.
international rapper
But anyways,
in the world.
yeah. But he was saying how actually, in his opinion, selfishness sometimes isn't a bad thing. It's necessary in order to be the best you can be to the other people around you as well. So is selfishness a bad thing in your mind, or is it always a good thing? Can it be a good thing in some ways?
I see it as a bad thing because all my friends and my girlfriend complain about that in
Really?
during my life, during my usual life.
So what do you do that's selfish then in your own life?
I guess just come here and sit with us instead of them, right?
I don't know. I don't know why, but no, I cannot think about an example. Small things, as always, small things, but
can they kind of tell that you're used to having someone being like, here's your stuff, Franco. Here's your food, Franco.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm starting to understand a little more. These
those
little
small
micro
things that show to my friends my selfishness,
Yeah.
and they tell me that I'm selfish. So I try to work on that, and I see it as a bad thing.
No, I get you. I understand. That's cool. But I really find that interesting that you're quite, like, you see yourself can be quite selfish. But as Fran mentioned earlier about perspective, you've got a lot of thoughts on. There's a lot of the comments that come from the press conferences with your perspective on winning or perhaps not winning a race. You think, oh well, other people have things worse than me. I'm still enjoying my life. This is still good. How do you practice that side of it then? How do you practice that perspective before coming to the race? Like coming into the weekend, it's okay if things don't quite go to plan.
This year is very easy to have this perspective because my technical situation gives me a little bit of an excuse on this matter. So
you just automatically feel a little bit less pressure.
Yes. So
I guess we kind of feel that from the outside as well. Like, well, you put that on the podium.
Yeah.
It's not the newest bike on the grid. Do you feel like that's quite freeing then in some ways?
So after an initial period of frustration, I have to say that after that feeling is gone, a big pressure relief has come.
Okay.
So yes, I do feel that I need to do what I can, and I need to try to improve, and I need to try to put the bike on the top. But I also know that putting the bike on the top is a really difficult task, more difficult than usual. So I don't have too much pressure to put the bike on top.
I feel that it sounds like you enjoy putting yourself in the position of being an underdog. You know what I mean by that?
Well, I'd love to be the favorite. I'd love to be the favorite. Yeah, I mean,
I was trying to think what the opposite of underdog was, and I got to
favorite,
overdog, and I was like, no, the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best position actually. Being the favorite means that you have everything at your disposal, and you have to perform at the top, and you have to win. I've been in that position in Moto2, and I felt great. Yeah. And I did win. So
I was gonna say it went quite well for you.
Yes,
you didn't really fall apart under the pressure.
Yeah, and I remember it felt good. I felt that extra spark inside me.
You feel the extra spark being the favourite rather than the underdog.
That's interesting.
Awesome. Yeah. It's called pressure. It's called it is pressure. It is nerves. But I think that some people can just by nature can I wouldn't say handle the pressure, this kind of pressure. I would say that some people can deal with this pressure and can deal with this feeling.
That's kind of logical. If you can genuinely deal with all of that pressure, you also by default have the best equipment and the best everything else. So if the pressure doesn't bother you, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's...
I'll tell you what, we got 5 quickfire questions to ask you before we let you go. But one thing I did want to ask, just because we couldn't have a half-hour sit-down with you and not discuss this aspect of it. Your teammates over there. No, wanted to ask you about your you spoke a bit in the media last year about the global situations, COVID, equality, and this and that. So I wanted to just ask you, how has your perspective on your role as an athlete in society developed over the last year, given what everything's happened in the world recently? Quite a big question.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Just to finish off, if you could just write us a book.
I mean, I think that as a rider, as riders, for sure we set an example. We are under the spotlight of the world, for sure, and we should set the right example, and we should send the right message. It's important to understand what is the right example and what is the right message. But I think that people that are under the world's eyes should do.
Nice.
Okay, that's cool. Bueno, I think we're on to the quick fire then.
Yes.
Short and sweet.
For the same quickfire questions that everybody gets asked. So Luke has been asked this, and everybody else as well. So we like to compare the answers. The only one of them, everyone keeps giving the same answer, and it's kind of really annoying. So I'm hoping you're going to be different.
We thought we'd come up with a great little set of 5 questions to get some really varied answers, and then no.
Yeah, no. But let's see. We're going to persevere. So I'll start it. First question is, where is your favourite place in the world?
Where is my favorite place in the world? I think that is on the beach.
A particular beach?
On the beach, not a particular beach. No.
What's the best beach you visited then, rather than your favorite?
Maldives.
Oh yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Good
I would love
answer.
to go. Never
Cool.
been. Would love to go. Okay.
Right, so next one. Who's your first celebrity crush?
That's a nice question. Who was? Saoirse Ronan.
Okay.
Saoirse Ronan.
I don't know who that is.
Actress.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We'll get
Cool.
Google images out later on.
Love it.
What is your favourite dessert?
Chocolate and vanilla ice cream.
Beautiful classic.
Yeah.
Good
No
answer.
complaints.
Good
Yeah.
answer. Do you have any phobias or fears?
Well, not any particular phobia or.
I'm just going to
fear.
put it down to people in Grand Prix racing don't have phobias.
Yeah.
No one said any yet.
Like,
No.
Nothing
yeah,
about
any
spiders.
superstitions? Is there any ritual that you kind of do before you get on the bike? Or is those still habits rather than...
I'm trying to lose them. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd call them habits, not
Okay.
rituals.
Interesting.
Okay. Last one. You can have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive. Who are they?
Um,
You don't have to say why.
Giulio Cesare.
Okay.
Caesar. You know him?
Oh yeah.
Julius
Okay.
Caesar. Yeah.
Julius Caesar. Yeah.
Okay, that's the best answer so far, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting actually.
Maybe Charlie Chaplin.
This is quite
Okay.
a dinner party.
Yeah, and I'd go with a party animal, so maybe Slash. Or
Wow, what a
amazing.
combo!
it'd be a nice party.
That really would.
Julius Caesar, Charlie Chaplin, and Slash. Super group.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Well, yeah, perfect. What a great way to finish. Thank you so much for your time. Really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have
and
a good
luck
weekend.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll try.
So, how we first got interested in racing. Mine would be back to 1996.
I wonder where on earth you were going. That is
I
a
know.
topic for another time.
Anyway, we hope you very much enjoyed that chat with Franco. I know we certainly did. Question of the week then.
Well, as we mentioned at the start, how do you deal under pressure best? Do you need everything in place in order to perform at your best, or are you better as an underdog?
I like a combo.
Oh, we're actually
to be
answering,
honest.
Of course we are, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh no. Personally, I really like it when it's like almost a time challenge. The days, especially now I've been doing most of the podium announcing where we've had closed doors events. Sundays are now bullet pointed by moments where if you're not there, the ceiling will
it's getting
fall.
Done.
And it's that kind of pressure of having points where you have to be at a certain place at a certain time, having to fit things in before and after. I really enjoy the challenge of trying to tick all that off, and I really enjoy when you just have to do the thing right or not.
No, I completely agree.
I'm sure about my blood pressure,
I'm
but
unfortunately the same. I think I mentioned it a couple of times on this podcast previously, but I unfortunately work best when time is of the essence.
Which
I really don't like
university,
that.
of course, causes the day before essay.
Yeah.
But in this world, everything works quickly. So
someone at university managed to pull that off very well. I didn't learn that I was good at this until I started a job at university. It worked terribly. But hey, let us know what you guys think. How do you guys perform best? YouTube comments, put them in there. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, and I think we do. Someone's invaded. But yeah, so I think that's everything from this week at Sunny now for a little while, Le Mans. Join us again when I think we'll be back again at
we have
Mugello.
someone in Mugello. We have an idea already who we want to speak to. It's someone we didn't think about previously, but he's been very relevant lately.
I remember the fact that we never talked about this person. Who was it? I remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
So stay tuned.
Yes. And please do come back then. Thanks very much. Ciao for now.